The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for our Food Access Learning Circle. I'd like to welcome you all. My name is Jody Burkhofer. I am the ECOP Projects Coordinator here at CDPHE. We also have a few people in the room with me today, Tracy Miller and Annie Guo, our Communications Specialist, as well as one of our guest presenters, Cheryl Castle. So I'd like to take a moment to just see who is all on the call. Looks like we have a few people, and we might have a couple people joining us throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself? Hello? Joy, are you there? Have them type in if they're there. If you could just go ahead and type in a question, or type in if you're here and introduce yourself that way. Maybe the audio is just not working properly. But we're going to go ahead and just get started because we do have a full agenda. Let's be sure that she's on here. Can you hit that question? Oh, okay. Joy, can you hear us? Can you type into, oh, obviously she can hear us if you're typing in. Thanks. Just making sure everything's working here. Okay. Why can't I move? Okay, so we'll go over our Learning Circle objectives for today. Our first objective is to learn something on the subject matter, and we may have guest speakers, and we actually have 2 guest speakers this afternoon. Our second is to establish partnerships among local public health agencies, so everyone on the call gets to share and kind of network a little bit and discuss what's going on in their specific community. And then the third objective is to share resources and identify ways to make everyone's work the easiest. So I'd like to go ahead and just review our objective for today relating to food access. So I'm sure this is something that everyone on the call is familiar with, but we'll just review. By September 30th, 2015, women of childbearing age and families with young children who reside in low-income areas have access to healthy foods by at least one of the following methods. So while we are waiting for the Learning Circle to begin, there was a question on the intro screen, and I'd like to just hear your thoughts on what is happening in your community as far as relating to this specific objective on food access and where you are in the work. It could be in the planning stages. It could be just determining your partners in your communities. But I'd like to hear a little bit from everyone on the call. So if we can't hear you, if you could just type in how things are going in your community. It looks like Joy typed something in here, and she's working with a task force that's working on developing the work plan activities for a mobile food truck and increasing farmers markets in food desert areas. Awesome. Kylie, can you hear us? I haven't heard a response from you. So it shows that you are on the call. So if you could just type in a question, that would be great, or a response. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just move on then. So our agenda today, we had some welcome and introductions. And our first presenter is Cheryl Castle with WIC, and she's going to be talking to us about some great programs going on in communities across the state of Colorado relating to WIC. At about 2:55, Renee Petrijo with Cooking Matters is going to be talking to us about some programs with a wonderful organization called Cooking Matters. And then at about 3:10, we're going to go over some additional resources that's going to help move your plans forward. And 3:15, we're going to open it up for discussions and any other questions that you might have relating to this food access strategy. And then we're going to wrap up around 3:30. So without much further ado, we'll go ahead and introduce Cheryl Castle with WIC.
Thanks, Jody. We really appreciate being invited to join today. And I'm pretty excited about this subject, so if I start to drone on for longer than my time, just kick me. As many of you know, the WIC program stands for the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children. And we're really excited today to talk about to share some of the information about WIC's connections to food systems projects. It's helpful to step back for a moment and to think in terms of two main layers with WIC. The first layer is more the structured, federally funded WIC program with all the rules and the regulations that does imply. The second main layer are the local agencies across Colorado that provide those WIC services, and then many other services to WIC clients. And several of these agencies have joined with local funding partners on a variety of projects that we'll address and briefly summarize at the end. And there's my contact information if you have any questions. Cheryl Castle at the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment through Colorado WIC. Okay. Thanks, Jody. As many of you know, so I'll just really quickly go through some of WIC's main connections with food and farm. WIC serves about 100,000 WIC clients in Colorado, and we do provide for low-income pregnant and postpartum women and infants and children up to the age of 5, nutrition education, breastfeeding support, referrals for health care, and supplemental foods. Those supplemental foods add up to be about $70 million each year in Colorado. And the foods include milk and cheese and whole grains, as well as, starting in 2009, fruits and vegetables. In 2009, the federal regs gave WIC programs across the country the ability to authorize farmers in addition to grocery stores. In Colorado, we have about 435 grocery stores and had at that time. So at that point, it was a very new connection for us to be able to look at farmers as an option to provide our WIC clients with fruits and vegetables on those very specific checks. We worked with the Colorado Farmers Market Association. Cindy Torres of that organization joined us and provided us lots of guidance and a lot of tools for this. And we worked alongside Garfield and Mesa County WIC. We did start out the program as a pilot to determine whether this was going to be a feasible move for the state program to move into. And at that point, it was in Mesa County. The WIC clients in Mesa County were notified of the pilot, and they could choose at that point to redeem their fruits and vegetable checks at any of the authorized farmers, or to continue to redeem them as they usually did at their grocery store that was authorized. We had 8 farmers that did apply and were successfully processed through the training and authorization process. And the state office, Mesa County WIC, and the evaluation branch here at the Department of Health did evaluate the pilot to determine if it was feasible to implement the program statewide, and really to look at the best ways to do that. We did have some major findings. We evaluated the pilot with several different methods: surveys, focus groups, interviews with the staff, with clients and farmers, and we actually came up with some very interesting findings, and I'll just summarize sort of the main highlights of that. We did survey clients that did purchase their WIC produce at a farm stand or a farmer's market, and we also surveyed those clients that did not participate in the pilot. And it was pretty astounding because we asked them about their perceptions between a farmer and a grocery store on selection, value, convenience, quality of produce, customer service, and on all 9 of the aspects of those farm characteristics. All of the clients across the board, whether they chose to go to a farmer's market to buy their WIC items or not, all 9 of those farm aspects were perceived as better or much better by the group, by farmers than other retail stores. WIC clients did report a very high likelihood of shopping at a farm in the future. We did end up, after the first year of the pilot, about 2% of the eligible families did select to purchase their WIC produce with a farmer. This is about 50 families out of about 2,000, and sales were about $470. At the end of the pilot, about 87% of the families that we did survey reported that they knew about the option of using their check there and would likely do it in the future, but only about 2% did. The farmers were surveyed, and they reported that they had applied for several reasons. They spoke very commonly about really wanting to help young mothers benefit from having increased access and exposure to a variety of high-quality foods. They also mentioned that they wanted government money to be used to feed people healthy food, in their words. They also felt that the connection for them might be an investment in the future as a way to increase their potential customers. At the end of the pilot, we did repeatedly hear their feedback that they felt the authorization process was very intrusive and it was a major barrier. They expressed a lot of frustration with the rules and the training. We did not find that distance really was a barrier in this particular location for Mesa County. About 75% of the clients reported that it really wasn't difficult for them to get to a farmer's market or farm stand. This could be skewed a little bit because Mesa County, some of those areas, the clients live closer to a farmer's market or a farm stand than they do to a grocery store. But we really didn't find an overall correlation in this area or the likelihood of someone visiting a farm. The few families that stated they were not likely to visit a farmer stated that they really didn't know about the farmers markets or the farm stand or their location. So we really, when you're combining those two findings, it really did indicate that WIC families and getting farmers and families together, really the barrier was the familiarity with those connections, and that if we introduce families to farmers with really detailed information about where and how they work, it really might help get them there for a first visit and might go a long way in eliminating a very significant barrier. The financial benefits for the farmers was extremely limited. As I said, it was about $470 that first year for those 8 farmers. And long term, really that's unknown whether that's what that increase will be. The farmers generally continue to express their interest in the investment over time and felt like that would really, over time, the financial gains might increase. If anybody's interested, we do have the full evaluation report that is available upon request. We also found there was quite a bit of confusion among the farmers, among the different programs, food assistance programs that are out there, and those that use a card versus a check versus other coupons. So the bottom line for that was that after the pilot, Colorado WIC decided to expand the pilot into a program, and based on the local agency's desire and interest in whether it was appropriate in certain areas. Otero and Montezuma WIC joined Mesa County in 2012 as they had farmers that applied in those areas and that were authorized. Last year, the total was about $400 in WIC checks for the produce that were redeemed. Most of the original farmers from the pilot in 2011 have not reapplied. Right now, about 6 out of 10 did not. It is expanding slowly across Colorado. In fact, this year, Tri-County Health Department and Larimer WIC have expressed an interest in joining and do have farmer, at least one farmer in each of those areas. So those are very potentially possible next year, we're hoping. The bottom line for us was that really the biggest success was that the local agency staff and the farmers were very gracious in their willingness to devote a lot of expensive and extensive time and hard work with very limited returns. So from the state WIC program, a lot of the joy that we get of those farm connections and that access piece really vicariously comes through the local agencies. And just to really briefly talk about some of the projects that are going on across Colorado that are being conducted by the local agencies, I'll just highlight a few of them. Mesa County Health Department, the WIC program there collaborates with Live Well and provides information about community gardens and cooking matter opportunities. There's really no funding. It's more of a partnership and collaboration in that area. Boulder County Public Health, their WIC program works with the local YMCA and the Genesis programs, a team program, and they work at growing and harvesting produce with the WIC and the Genesis clients. In Tri-County, they have several projects going on in this area that connect those clients with opportunities to help grow the produce. And currently, they partner with 4 community gardens. And at the gardens, they also provide nutrition ed classes, in addition to working with those clients in getting them involved with the actual produce growing. And they help coordinate the produce and health fairs in the area, and it's funded by the Food Bank of the Rockies. Ouray and San Miguel County Nursing Services WIC, that's hard to say quickly, is going on for their 7th year. They partner with the Telluride Foundation, and they provide clients with vouchers that can be used at the 3 local farmers markets in the area. The WIC program in the Valley-wide health systems, which is down in the Alamosa area, they really have a very long history, 15 years they're going on now with various groups and projects, including the Healthy Habits group. And basically, they're looking to provide clients with farmers market coupons, and they also provide samples of the recipes that are prepared there with the local produce at farmers markets. And in this way, the clients can see the recipe being prepared and get a sample to taste as well as the recipe to take home. And when they issue the coupons at the WIC office, they also try to combine that and coordinate that with the nutrition education services at the clinic about the importance and the benefits of increasing the fruit and vegetable consumption. And I will just end with it. We're very excited about this call because moving toward a connection of the funding sources with local projects and partners, we've really seen as a key, and it's a gap that we've recognized for the last several years. And having those local agencies sharing information about the projects that they're doing. Some of these are funded on a shoestring, and some of these are a little bit more expansive. But the real impact is huge. And many of the projects I talked about today, and many that I didn't get to, are very well loved by not only the WIC local agencies, but it's just a joy to see those going on.
Thank you, Cheryl. Do we have any questions at this time for Cheryl? If so, I would invite you to just go ahead and type them in. It seems like we're having a little trouble with our audio. So if you have any questions for Cheryl, feel free to go ahead and type them in. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on with one of our other guest speakers today, Renee Petrillo from Cooking Matters.
Much, Jody. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. Like Jody said, my name is Renee, and I'm with Cooking Matters, so I'm excited to be on the call with you today and tell you just a little bit more of the programs of Cooking Matters. Perhaps you guys have heard about the program, but wanted to give a wide overview of all the different things that we have available that you might be able to take with you into your communities. Next slide. So Cooking Matters is part of a national nonprofit called Share Our Strength. And you might have heard of Share Our Strength in the No Kid Hungry campaign. But there's a wonderful organization working to end childhood hunger in America. And the way that they're doing that is through really focusing on access and education. And so Cooking Matters is really the education component to ending childhood hunger, and so really educating families on the ways to use their benefits and their food to the maximum. So the access part is really focusing on federal nutrition programs like CACFP and school breakfast, summer meals, and SNAP to really make sure that participants have access to those programs and expanding how we can reach out to those participants. And then Cooking Matters is really the education component, like I said. And so we have a variety of things. Probably what you've mostly heard about are our signature courses. And I will talk about those in just a moment in more detail, but wanted to just give you an overview of what I will focus on today. But we have our signature hands-on cooking and nutrition courses. We also have Cooking Matters for child care professionals, Cooking Matters at the store, the Healthy Pantry Project, as well as some free downloadable toolkits. So first, our signature courses are a hands-on cooking and nutrition course that happens over 6 weeks. And if you go to the next slide, there's a little bit more information on that. they're taught by a nutrition educator and a chef educator that volunteer their time. And so you can see here the different curricula that are offered. We have Cooking Matters for Adults and Cooking Matters for Families, which is one of my favorite curriculums that bring families together with their parents and kids to do cooking. We also have Cooking Matters for Teens and Cooking Matters for Kids. You can see that there's 2 addenda as well, so Cooking Matters for parents of preschoolers and Cooking Matters for adults with diabetes. So really broad, research-based, peer-reviewed curricula that's a really fun class. In order to get these started throughout your communities, there needs to be a lead partner that's trained, but we're always open for more information on that. And so if you're interested in knowing a little bit more information about, if you're in the metro area, how to schedule a course, or perhaps to see if there's a coordinator in your area, you can contact Becky at the information below to get a little bit more information, as well as Christina, and I can provide you with her contact at the end. But if you go to the next slide, we can see a map of where Cooking Matters Colorado is really focused within throughout the state. And so this is where we're offering Cooking Matters courses. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Where there's a red star, you'll see that there is a full-time satellite coordinator there. And then the states that are in the light blue, the counties that are in light blue represent train the trainer models. And so we've trained kind of an organization and agency in that community to reach out to families and adults and teens and kids in their community to lead about 3 courses per year. And so Cooking Matters for Childcare Professionals is actually one of our newer curricula. It's very similar to the signature courses, but it's very hands-on. It's about empowering the providers, in this case, with the skills, knowledge, and ability to cook healthy and affordable meals for the kids in their care. And then one of the unique components of this curriculum is it really targets on creating a positive food environment for their kids. And so this curriculum is broken up into 5 modules that are listed here on the slide. And this is the program that I teach, and I actually travel all across Colorado in order to reach out to child care professionals, and we do this 8 to 10 hour training. Typically it's in a 1-day format, and we just launched a brand new curriculum or addendum to this one called Cooking Matters for Center-Based Child Care Professionals. So if you'd like any more information on ways that we can bring this curriculum to you, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on the slide. And this one's really fun in reaching out to the child care providers that really have a big impact on kind of the behaviors that kids grow up with, and really starting those food behaviors and attitudes at a young age. So we're really excited about this curriculum as well. The next exciting program to talk to you about is Cooking Matters at the Store. And this program was formerly called Shopping Matters. And this is more of a one-time event that can happen in any community without having to be trained as a Train the Trainer site. And Cooking Matters at the Store is really an interactive guided grocery store tour. There is a trained facilitator, and they bring about up to 10 participants into the grocery store to really walk through the aisles, focusing on purchasing fruits and vegetables on a budget, reading the nutrition facts labels, identifying whole grains, and then comparing those unit pricing. So really great education in more of a low-touch way, but really some positive benefits that come out of it. Another positive thing is that there is an activity at the end that's an optional activity, but one of my favorites because it's called the $10 challenge, because participants can receive a $10 gift card to really put into practice everything that they just learned on their tour. And so they try to create a healthy meal for a family of 4 under $10. So also linking back to WIC, that we have a curriculum here called Cooking Matters at the Store for WIC parents, and really focuses on the best way to use their WIC package in the grocery store. We're also working on a new addendum of Cooking Matters at the farmers market, and so perhaps kind of linking back to what Cheryl was talking about with WIC, we can kind of come up with other opportunities to link all that information if it's something that you'd be interested in. This is an easy program to quickly train a facilitator in your community to lead participants through the store. So if you have more information or would like more information, you can contact Cassandra. And so she is our outreach manager for Cooking Matters at the store and would love to be in touch with you about more information. Another program that we have available that we do is called the Healthy Pantry Project. And this is something that we initiated kind of in our Denver office because we were noticing that lots of pantries just needed a few extra resources to serve healthy choices and really communicate that they were serving and offering healthy choices at their pantries. And so if you have any questions on this, you can contact Megan Kazir, and she has resources for you such as recipes using commonly found ingredients at food pantries. And then what they're doing in the Denver metro area is doing demos, so kind of taking items that participants would receive that day and preparing a healthy recipe out in the front in the lobby to kind of show some ideas of ways that the pantry recipients can use some of the food that they're receiving in a healthy, low-cost way. They also have handouts and some shelf labels available as well. So if this is something that interests you, I highly encourage you to reach out to Megan Kazir. And we're coming up with a toolkit for this, and we're kind of in the works. It should be launched by the end of 2013, but we have all of the materials available if you'd like to just individually work on that. And then, last but not least, we also have some free downloadable toolkits. And these toolkits are really targeted as a way to provide some hands-on activities in your community that use a lot of the lessons that we know work really well in our Cooking Matters classes. And so the first toolkit is called Cooking Matters for Chefs and Kids. And this toolkit really sprouted from the movement of Chefs Move to Schools with Michelle Obama. And it's just a toolkit of about 10 lesson plans of activities that you could do with kids. And then in the back there are some really great recipes that are Cooking Matters approved and we use in our classes all the time. So I encourage you to look at those. Exploring Food Together works more with a preschool-aged children. Really fun ideas of just kind of ways to make serving fruits and vegetables a little bit better with making clown faces or veggie superheroes, some activities of food riddles and supermarket hot and colds. So just some fun activities that parents or providers, or if somebody's in need of childcare activities, would be a really great one. And then Cooking Matters in Your Community is our newest toolkit that focuses on food demos. And so if you ever have an opportunity to do a food demonstration, whether it's at a garden like we were talking about previously, or just at a health fair or something, it kind of gives you all the tools that you need to successfully do a food demonstration. There's a few activities as well as recipes in there as well, and checklists of things to bring and kind of what to do with all of those processes. And so, like I said, these are free downloads. Some of them are available in Spanish as well. And you can go directly to our website, and if you go to cookingmatters.org and click on the little tab on the top left that says what we do and click down to educational outreach, it is available.
Renee, did we lose you? Hello?
Looks like we lost Renee.
Oh no.
I encourage you to look there as well. So right now it's Make Your Plate a Rainbow. Previously it was Breakfast Boost and different information like that. So us to come onto your call today and provide you with a little bit extra information about Cooking Matters. So there was information on each of those slides, but if you just like general information, you can always call our main line or visit our website or reach out to me personally with any questions.
Thank you so much, Renee. So many great programs going on within Cooking Matters.
You're very welcome.
Thanks
so
for
if you have
sharing.
any questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay, great. Does anyone have any questions for Renee at the time? I'm going to go ahead and just unmute everyone. see if we can try our audio.
Okay, it must have been the last one, so unmute the top two. Joy or Kylie, can you say something to see if this is working? Okay, unmute Sarah, let's see. Sarah, are you able to say something? Sarah, are you able to say something? Sarah, are you able to say something? Oh.
I think I am now. Yep.
Sarah, if you're listening through the phone and the computer, I think it might be picking up that echo. She's muted for now.
Kylie put a question up. Oh, okay. All right, so anyone who is unable to speak by the phone, if that you have any questions, feel free to enter them in. But I just wanted to mention a comment. First, I just want to thank Cheryl and Renee for the great presentation. In looking at the action plans for this particular strategy, I think all of the efforts that you heard about today, the efforts in WIC for increasing healthy food access and connecting WIC participants to fruits and vegetables and local foods, and also the programs that Cooking Matters offers. I think it's a very nice connection and alignment to the 4 methods that all of you have explored as you developed your action plans over the last year and started to move ahead on those. I know that Jefferson County is working a lot on increasing participation in the nutrition assistance program, so I think these educational opportunities are potentially a good component of that, as well as El Paso. You know, once those farmers markets get up and running in those food deserts, perhaps some of these educational components would be a nice way of meeting the client there, and not the client, but meeting the public there and offering that educational component with it. Because I know that those types of strategies where education and food access are combined together seem to be showing more promising results in actually affecting consumption of the fruits and vegetables and taking it to that next level. So I just wanted to thank all of you for that, and do know that these strategies are a nice connection to all the things our presenters have talked about today. I'm very appreciative. Again, I'm very disappointed about the audio today. I was hoping we'd have some fruitful discussion here, and we're just struggling with this. And I think we have another option for the next learning circle that I've got in my mind. The GoToWebinar piece around audio seems to trip us up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I know I've got another phone line that we can use next time for those of you that call into these learning circles. But feel free to type anything in if you have any last comments, and we're just real thrilled to have all of you join us here today.
I do have a few additional resources that I've pulled together for you, and I will send them out in an email, but I'm going to just go through them here. So Greeley Farmers Market, they've really done a lot of great things. So they're a wonderful resource, so that might be something that you'd like to check out and check out their model. WholesomeWave.org is also a wonderful resource. So they have up-to-date news articles and reports on just food access in general, and they're also a great connection between communities and starting up these really grassroots movements. Colorado Farmers Market Association is also a great one, connecting communities with their farmers. Another great model is Summit Community Garden Network. Live Well, of course, has some wonderful resources on their website, just some up-to-date information on food systems, and as well as the Colorado Food Systems Advisory Council. And then there's a handbook on IAPP, and it's for managing small farmers markets. So some of you in smaller communities that are just starting up these farmers markets, that you might find that useful. And then there's also another great resource, Farmers Markets as a Strategy to Improve Access to Healthy Food for Low-Income Families and Communities. And then if you haven't checked out the USDA's Food Access Atlas, it's pretty fascinating, so you might want to just type in your own community and see where you are in terms of food deserts, and just it's a really eye-opening tool to use. And then, of course, Hunger Free Colorado, which partners with Share Our Strengths and who also partners with Cooking Matters. They have some wonderful programs and resources on their website as well. So I will send this actually this whole presentation to everyone on the call, so you'll have everyone's contact information as well as these resources. So, sure, go ahead.
You know, and I just wanted to thank Renee. Renee, this is Cheryl from Colorado WIC, and I will definitely be in touch with you and or Cassandra. What's some of the information you shared today?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We might have a question. Just keep typing your questions if you have them. Okay.
If any of you have anything else that you'd like to share about your community initiatives, Jody can also share that with the group as well if you want to send anything in writing that you think others would benefit from hearing. We certainly wanted to have a conversation about those types of things but weren't able to. So feel free to send anything you'd like to share with others, and we can certainly facilitate that.
Or additional resources. We're, always more resources the better. Any ideas, thoughts? Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much. Everyone have a great afternoon, and I will definitely send a follow-up email in the next few days with all of with the presentation and all the resources. So thank you once again.
Thank you for joining us.